The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 welcomes you to Meridian's favorite TV personalities and three-time CMA nominees for Broadcast Personality of the Year. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Debbie.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Debbie, who is still out this week.
So it's me again, Vern.
Now, y'all had a chance, and we'll pull the picture up. Y'all had a chance to meet this weekend.
Yeah. So it's been a while since me and Debbie's run into each other, and we were able to kind of sit with each other and listen to some history there downtown Meridian. It was a wonderful day.
Great photo op. I captured the moment so y'all can relive that moment from now on.
That's right. And I had to get real close to listen to her talk.
But it's getting better.
I
talked to her late last night, and I could start to understand a few words.
So it's getting to where you won't have to put up with me much longer in the morning time. So
we appreciate you coming in and helping out as much as you've done.
I'm definitely enjoying it and having fun, and so hey, it's helping me get myself up and going. By the time I get to work, I'm fully awake now. So,
do you spend as much time as Debbie does on the hair and things of that nature, or you?
No, I pretty much. So my hair is a little sensitive, so I have to brush it while it's wet, and then I spray it down with some hairspray.
Oh, you're all on this.
Yeah, and then by the time I get here, my hairspray's done dried, so I can brush it out again. Other than that, it'd be like poof.
I have no way of hairspray. Hairspray wouldn't help mine.
So and now we got a rainy day, so my head will be sticky by this afternoon.
Hang in there. What a weekend we've had. A lot going on. And as we begin this morning, Odie, let's talk about this before it gets here, because this is serious what we've got going on. And I mentioned the words about crying wolf. I know a lot of people go, we all said it was going to be bad a few weeks ago.
We fight that with just about every storm that we have is this. Well, you said it was going to be bad last time, and we know we did, and we know it petered out before it got here, which is a good thing, and that's what we want. But at the same time, you cannot become complacency on these types of storms.
We look at Wednesday first. This is going to be the first round, and it's a level 1, which means pretty much we're going to get some heavy rain. Some quarter-size hail is possible, and some gusty winds. Not all that bad. And this will go down to somewhere around Quitman, Stonewall, and be the line back over to Lake Edens, and then back into our friends there in Jasper County, all the way across. Mm-hmm. Thursday is what we need to be concerned about. I know that you will open up the emergency management office, because this looks to be, and this started coming out on Saturday. The last storm we had, they put it at a level 2, and it would be the morning of before they switched it to a 3.
Yep.
And this is where we are. I want y'all to look at that and be very serious. This will stretch over to Alabama. As we see here, this goes over to Demopolis and Tuscaloosa. Now, this will also stretch back into Texas, portions of Arkansas, and portions of Louisiana. And it gives it plenty of time. And I'll say it this way, a lot of times the storms start here, and then they go bother somebody else.
And that's true. And we don't get but just the beginning of it. But this is one that's going to be developing, and it's going to grow by the time it gets to us.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I enjoy working with you about, because of our different radars. And we watch this thing. You would... here, and then myself at the EOC, I mean, we're watching this thing develop before it gets to Mississippi, and then as it gets through Mississippi, it's following it all the way through. So it's not just right here; it's
right
all the way through that we're going to sit here and follow this storm through, and we'll sit and talk, and we'll text back and forth during this thing as it goes through. And but Thursday does look like it could turn out to be another bad day.
Now, what we're looking at late in the evening, possibly into the nighttime hours. And again, we're sitting here at Monday morning, so that means that's probably going to change. I can't tell you the amount of times that they've changed it within an hour and go, whoa, wait a minute, we need another hour on this. So that's kind of up in the air, but kind of in the back of your head, think anytime after 10 o'clock to be on the safe side. We'll watch it.
And we'll, and I get woke up just like everybody else the other day at 4:47 in the morning with my alarm going off on the phone because there was a wind alert, and I know that's that's not good to get a wind alert.
Right.
At 4:47 in the morning when it's not real windy outside. But I do have that set up as automatic from National Weather Service. I can take that off, but I end up losing some more warnings that will not come through the phone that I believe is more important. Now, I'm going to sit down with National Weather Service today and say, hey, I know the guy comes in at work at 4:30. But does he really have to send out a wind warning at 4:47 on a weekend? Because I've got everybody calling me going, did you just get that? And I said, yeah, I did. So please don't delete my emergency notification system because I woke you up at 4:47 the other morning.
Let's talk about that. Say you're watching and you want a heads up to know whether or not to come watch or not. What don't you offer to where everybody can put it in their phone and be woken up at 4:47 a.m. in the morning?
Yes.
How you go about doing that?
We don't want it for the wind, but right now, hopefully we can get that straight. But if you'll text 39301 to 888-777, don't do anything else. It's going to welcome you in there in Spanish, and it's going to welcome you in there as English, and then it'll say sign up with your email. Don't do any of that. They don't track your email or any of that, but you get more. Just don't do that. That's the best way to say it. That I don't like that part of the system. But just text 39301 to 888-777. That'll get you signed up, and we'll send out alerts. And if this was developing to a tornado warning at 4:47 in the morning, then you would get that. And that's what we need to get out is that type of information.
All right, say that number again. We're getting several comments saying I didn't hear the number.
888-777.
Hang on here. I can do this. 88. Ooh, where did it go? I think all right, how many 8s?
3 8s and 3 7s.
Right, like that.
One more, take a 7 more. There we go.
And you call 888-77?
Yep, that's the number you send it to.
Okay. All right. We put that up on the screen there if you're watching from Facebook, and there it is. We want you to pay attention to that. Weather is a very scary thing, and if you were to do one of the most important things to people that live in this area, because this is almost, and I see it referred to a lot now as the new Tornado Alley. Do you hear it referred to that?
Yeah, we are referred to that. Mississippi has the record for the most tornadoes. I think, we're tied with Texas. So you can see the size of Texas and the size of Mississippi. And we've had the same high number of tornadoes. We've got the longest track tornadoes.
Yes. Now, let's touch back on last week. Well, we're sitting here, didn't much happen last week, but did everybody know that there were 3 tornadoes that touched down the state of Mississippi last week?
Yep.
That could have been here, but we were fortunate it was somewhere else. There was no loss of life, but for those people that got damaged, it was not good. So I cry and we talk. I was going to say cry wolf, but I don't cry wolf. When we talk about something, it is fact of what is coming and how it's headed.
That's right.
It just doesn't always end up being nasty. And we hope it doesn't this time, but it sure has all of the earmarks of being something bad. So we start out this morning telling you about what's coming.
And the possibility of it, all we know is we could have tornadoes in our area. And our area is Lauderdale County, Clark County, Newton County, Kemper County, Neshoba County. That's our area that we look at. So we look at the system that's coming through, and the way it develops could be in this particular area a tornado.
Right.
And that's what the schools go by. And so one of my deals with the school was, why don't they do what we were done as a kid, and that's go in the hallway, put your head between your legs and a school book over your noggin and write it out. But they can't do that. We went to a state conference with the National Weather Service up in Jackson, and the lady said, well, I'm with the State Board of Education, and our insurance will not allow us to keep kids there. Which, well, when did we start letting insurance companies tell us what to do and not us tell the insurance, well, you do it this way, I'll go find another company.
Yeah, it's shaping the way America makes decisions.
That's right. So the insurance company will not allow the schools to keep our kids, and I hate that. So now the school system is stuck between whether we get the kids out early, whether we hold them until coming in for late, or do we wait and all of a sudden get caught up by this storm is on top of us and now we got to get the kids out of here?
And then that's usually worse.
And that's usually worse when you've got a broadside school bus on the road and 50, 60 mile an hour gust. What's going to happen?
Yep.
And that's the last thing we want to respond to. So as much as we hate to see kids not go to school or get out of school early, I'm glad I'm not the one that's got to make that decision, Scotty Ray.
Yeah, sure.
And all we can do is give them the information we get. And I know that they caught all kind of grief. And I just...
You feel for them.
I feel for them because y'all don't know what they have to go through to make that decision.
I have the strongest urge just to say 867-5309 after all those numbers.
Yeah, it's called BR549.
Good morning to you, Scotty Ray and Debbie. As Odie fills in for another week for us, we've got a lot of headlines of what's going on over the weekend. Y'all don't rush off. This is the fastest hour on television that you will ever encounter. We'll be right back.
Crystal Andrews is located at Moon River Salon in North Hills. Crystal specializes in all things hair-related, including all color services, Brazilian blowouts, keratin treatments, invisible bead tie-in extensions, perms, as well as the latest in cutting and style techniques. The ultimate goal is to bring out every individual's best self. In an atmosphere that is pleasant and relaxing, leave the stress of daily life behind and treat yourself in the best hair care. Book your appointments today at 601-938-9514.
Are you looking for a trustworthy place to buy your next car or truck? Visit my friends at Massey Supermart Auto Sales. They've been doing business since 1955. There's a reason they've been in business for so long. They have fair prices, superior service, and repeat customers. For your next quality pre-owned vehicle, it's Massey Supermart Auto Sales. Taking care of your car needs at 1023 Highway 39 North.
Profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
It's finally here, the Springtime Sweet Pea Swap, located at the old Jeffries Building at Bonita Lakes. Drop-offs February 23rd through February the 25th. Thursday, March 2nd, 5 to 9 p.m. is paid ticket holders pre-sale. Tickets are only $10 each. The public sale begins Friday, March the 3rd, 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. Saturday, March 4th, 10 to 7. Sunday, 25% off, 1 to 6 p.m. And Monday, March the 6th, 50% off, 10 until 7 p.m. It's the Spring Sweet Pea Swap at the old Jeffries Building by Bonita Lakes Mall.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Welcome back, Scotty Ray and Otis. Otis.
Well, I mean, that's
Where'd that come from?
my real name.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's why it popped in my head.
My name's Otis.
There you go. You could probably made a pretty good one there with Andy Griffith. Right. Highway 45 has been an extremely dangerous place over the weekend. There was a wreck there at Cotton Gin over the weekend, late at night, that blocked traffic. The lanes, and as we all know, right there at the old Cotton Gin, crossing 45, there's accidents every single time.
Yeah, it's at an angle, so it's not a complete, what do you call it, straight across?
You can't see good. And that post on your vehicle will cause a lot of wrecks. Am I saying that would happen here? No, but it did block traffic, and volunteer fire department worked on that for quite a while. Now, as we go to our next scene here, let's pull this up. This is just north of Lauderdale, and I can count on my hand in the last month at least 3 accidents in this same exact location. Let's take a look at this as we look at the lights there as people were pulling up on this. This would be just past Superstop. Now, let's take a closer look in here as to what really happened there last night. here's the picture of, you see all the flashing lights on Highway 45, but if you're going down it, you can't see what's off in the, do they say creek?
Yeah, creek. I mean, it was pretty wide, and so
look at this
truck down in there.
And if you'll notice, what is that laying right there? Oh, that is a gas tank, folks.
Right close to the water, and that's
a no-no.
That's when they said, call us. So.
And, accidents, all of these kind of things like this can lead to fires quickly because that will hold about 36 gallons right at it.
Yep.
Somewhere 30 gallons, 25, that one, it depends on which vehicle it is, but it's a lot. That's one of those avalanches that went off there. Do we know what caused the wreck? No. Did we have some injuries involved with that? We did. But if you came along last night, that's what was going on there. A big thank you to all of the volunteer fire departments, highway patrol, and, of course, y'all's agency and everybody that jumped in on this to work this. I started getting phone calls of, what's all them lights up there in Lauderdale?
Yeah. And, and I know Scotty Ray appreciates people sending in pictures, and we do too. We enjoy that we have a lot of people out there that take these pictures and send to Scotty Ray to get that out to the public.
Yeah.
Do it safely, and
Absolutely.
I know most of the guys or gals that you have to come out and take pictures on scene, and not just anybody can walk up and say, "Hey, I'm with the press. I'm going to come up here and take a picture if that's all right." I know all TOK and MDN. I know all of your people that come and help you. So when they walk up and say, "Can I get a picture?" Yes, come on in, because I know who you are, and they get shots like that, but.
Say that to the FBI. They go, hang on.
That's right. Yeah, who that is?
Yeah, but, they will do that.
Yeah,
now, we had
check.
One of the biggest headlines this weekend in Meridian, Mississippi was there a police impersonator? As we do the story, I've spoken to the young lady. I'm still waiting on the Meridian Police Department to get back with me on what actually on their side went on. But we do know charges have been pressed. I don't know them all. We do know that the person was charged with impersonating a police officer. That happened. As we pull this up and we go to our website, Sam Media. If you hadn't read this, please do so. Now, this involves a young lady that is going down I-20. Let's just do a visual here. Mm-hmm. Going down I-20, you're going westbound. You're passing where McDonald's is. And then all of a sudden you see blue lights pop up. And you go, well, what was odd about this was the blue lights, they were in the right lane, and the blue lights were in that little bit of area in between there and the concrete wall pulling up beside them. Now, typically a police officer wouldn't do that. So she tells her, I think it's almost marriage here. Old Blake and them fixing to get married to something here. But we'll call it a boyfriend. Tells her boyfriend to pull over, and he goes, there's something odd about that. So he switches to the left lane. That's when the car that's running on the edge there with the blue light switches to the right lane. Now they're side by side going down I-20. He rolls his window down, and then she rolls her passenger window down. He sees a male, and he speeds off. They pick up the phone, they call 911 and get in behind him and get the tag number. He will take a right by Queen City Truck Stop, go up and hang a right and get on 65th Avenue, which leads you in the end to Lee's Donuts.
That's right.
He will stop. There's a four-way stop there. Slay Still is to the right, and right there's a little store called Randy's One Stop.
Randy's One Stop, that's correct.
The guy pulls in there, sits there a moment. Another car goes through the intersection. He pulls back out and throws blue lights back on. It would be about this time that the entire police force that is on duty arrives. And Colin, I'm trying to remember who all was on that, showed up on this. It was a bunch of officers that showed up, went into this. They threw on the blue lights and pulled him over to the soccer complex. Wow. He would be arrested, taken downtown. The couple, her boyfriend Blake, would go down and sign the paperwork on this. And so this is how I know it did actually happen. It's not hearsay. They did sign the paperwork. Again, I haven't heard from MPD of all the charges that they have filed in addition to what happened there that night. Could this have turned into something bad? It could have. Now, I've heard other people say that this guy was kind of young and maybe didn't know what he was doing. It doesn't matter, because if you'll go back and read this story, 1983, this is a very, very touchy subject for Meridian, is it not?
It is, and it goes back even farther than that. But you know, we lost a lot of our residents, female residents, to this type of incident. So there's that's in the back of the mind for all our people. Mm-hmm. And if you are in the middle of the night, if you're on a dark place, or you just don't feel comfortable on the side of the road, and you get pulled over for some reason, if you'll stick your flashers on, slow down, call 911 and say, look, I'm in this car, I'm right here, I'm being asked to pull over by police. I'm going to, as soon as I get to a safe place, I've slowed down and my hazards are on. Let them communicate with that officer that's going to pull you over. And that officer is not going to be mad with you wanting to go somewhere safe. Because it's also safe for that officer. It's not just safe for you, it's safe for that officer. But don't just say, well, he'll figure out that I'm going to pull over in a minute.
So you're saying make that phone call.
Make that phone call to 911. Let 911 contact them and say, hey, they acknowledge you're back there. They're going to pull over. They don't feel safe, but as soon as they get right up here, they're going to pull over. And that makes the officer feel so much better, too. That's right, Larry Fisher.
That was his name.
Yep.
Caitlin is a young lady this happened to, and she said that she cannot tell you in words just how impressed she is with the Meridian Police Department of how quickly they acted, professionalism that they handled with this and handling this matter. It was Officer Colin Kent who was first on the scene in the Tahoe that got in there with the blue lights behind him. Could this have been more? It could be. We don't know what he was really up to. Yeah. We don't. Again, I can't accuse someone without. We'll see what happens with this. This will go to court. So many people saying, I remember 1983. It was a time we didn't know what was going on. And technology back then is not where we are now. There was no such thing as a cell phone for a young lady traveling down 11 and 80 to call the police back then. You would have had to have gone to a payphone.
And you just didn't think. You know, back in the day, it was safe to hitchhike. Now it's not. Back then, it was safe to really believe that was an officer back there. Nobody else is going to pull you over but an officer. So I feel safe by pulling over. So, you know, growing up, we didn't lock our front doors.
No.
We do now. Everything's locked, dead bolted.
And as they say, Fisher died in prison. And if you will remember back on this, just as why this is so scary, maybe you're new to our area and go, well, I don't know what y'all are talking about. It was two young ladies that were pulled over in 1983. One would be found first. Horrible things were done to them, and they lost their life. And they got family, and there's no sense in rehashing all of that. Right. I don't want to bring back bad memories. But it would take a female police officer driving down 11 and 80 by herself, looking as though she was by herself, with another officer laying in the back floorboard. And guess what happened?
And he decided to pull her over, and boy, was it was an awesome time to know that they were able to get him off the street. And I hate that it was two, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yes, it could have been.
If they didn't do what they did and try and trap this guy.
And then as they searched the vehicle, it would be 2 or 3 times they kept finding things in the vehicle because it was an old truck. Things fall down dashes, under dashes, if you remember the old trucks. I had someone make a statement, said, I heard this person was illegal, had a gun. He was not illegal, but he did have a gun in the car, from what I'm understanding. The last part I feel pretty confident on, but he was not illegal. So I want to be up front with that of what we know about that. I'm hearing no driver's license, and boy, that'll get you itself taken downtown.
Yeah, that's not a good way to start that.
So we hope to have her come in this week and tell her story, because you have to really think about this. Think she'd have been alone. We want her input as to what happened, because scary, always do exactly as they did. Pick up that phone if you've got one and call somebody.
That's right. Even if you're out of town, it doesn't matter, because it's going to pick up your cell phone and send you to the closest 911 center, your dispatch center. So if you were coming from, we'll say, Oregon, and you've got an Oregon phone.
Yeah.
But you're driving through Lauderdale County. When you call 911, it's calling Lauderdale County's 911. That happens everywhere. So you're going to get whoever's there. So don't feel that, well, I don't have a local phone number. it's not going to give me this 911. It is. That cell phone is going to be routed to that area. And call every single time. Call, but be cautious.
Don Carney made the comment that the gentleman in the 80s tried to pull, I'm assuming in the 80s, tried to pull his sister over.
Wow.
That could have been so many more young ladies. And, you know, we sit here this morning, you think in 1983, I was, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, 14. Where would they be today? Their life was cut short because of a criminal. It so bad. And thank y'all for the comments on all of that.
And teach your kids.
Yes. Now let's move to Newton. And let me say this: there's a lot going on in Newton. Let me do a scenario, and you tell me. Say you got a business in Meridian. It's doing great, and you think, I want to expand. And you put a little store in Philadelphia, you put one in Decatur, and then you add one in Newton. It's kind of like a business. Do I think crime is connected? I absolutely do. Do I think that criminals expand and they're all intertwined and they know what this one is doing and that one is doing? I absolutely do, and I think there are a lot of similarities as to what's happening in Newton as it is in Meridian. As we'll start out with one of the first things that happened, let's go here and take a look at this. The first thing that we had happen over the weekend in Newton, y'all pay attention, Newton. Y'all had a house shot as we look at this. This would happen on Pine Street. There was damage to a house and car. There were nobody hurt with that.
Wow.
Pretty serious there, though. The next thing that I would get out of Newton is, and let me find my picture here. Here we go. This is Newton, Mississippi. I want y'all to look at this. Let me pull this up. This is Newton, Mississippi, the Newton County Sheriff's Department on the scene. As we look at this, let me show it where you can see some flashy lights there.
Could you imagine being in that car, ruh-roh, Raggy?
Yeah, that will make you get new underwear.
That will do it for sure.
This is the scene as an officer sees a tag number, and it's really, really close to the tag number of the person that shot up the house of the tag number they received.
Yeah.
So the cavalry came in. Jody sends them in. Go get them. They get there. And it turns out that is not the person they're after. But whoops, we want to talk about being at the wrong place, having maybe a little meth in the back seat, a little marijuana, and got some warrants with a gun.
My bad.
Oop, off to jail he went. He's sitting over at Newton County now thinking about what he done.
Yeah. And I saw somebody replied, well, they are just entrapment because they read that tag. They didn't have probable cause. I hate to tell you,
yes.
But they can run that tag anytime they want to. If you're going down the road, there's a tag. You're lucky we don't have what they've got in some of these big cities where
tag readers,
a tag reader, and some units do, but they drive up and down the road, and that unit tells them, hey, that car right there's got a warrant, or this car's got this, or that car's got that. We hadn't quite got that bad yet, but it's coming. So your tag on your car, you don't have to have probable cause to read that tag. And if it comes back with a warrant for the owner of that car, doesn't have to be the driver.
But you know,
the
I'm
owner
thankful.
Of that car, they're going to pull you over.
Odie, in this situation, an officer going, that's 3 letters. I know at least 3 letters match what happened. Let me look. Because it would be a different story if somebody were to be killed and that officer didn't do something. We have to look at all sides of this.
That's right.
And I never understand how people get mad at police for trying to help the public. And that's what that was. Now, we're not through with Newton yet. Wait a minute. Let's go to Sunday morning. 1 a.m. when everybody ought to be at home in the bed getting ready to go to church. Well, that was not the case with everybody in Newton, Mississippi, especially if they were driving a black Charger. Let's go ahead and pull up that beautiful bean footage there. Here we go. A car chase occurred right around 1 a.m. It would start here on East Church Street. Let's pull this up along about here and head this direction. A right-hand turn on Decatur Street, and let's go ahead and swing a left. But we've got our foot a little too much in the gas, and the car is too much for him. He can't handle it. He can't drift. Next thing you know, this is the scene, what's going on there. Now, these are not clear pictures, but it's the best I could do of people that passed by at the time. This is that black Challenger into a light pole. So if you were laying there and your alarm clock didn't go off or your whatever, this is why. Here's another shot. Look at that light pole. That's the Charger there.
Yeah, that
brake
hurt.
Light hung.
That hurt. And you'll be paying for that light?
Yes, sir, Bob. The sad part is, as the cops pulled up to get out, the last thing they saw was the bottom of those tennis shoes. And he was gone. They hadn't caught the person yet.
No, but they've got him. I know they've processed that car. They know who it is, and they're just waiting for him to walk in the door.
Most likely.
Come on in. We're going to give you a shot. If not, I'm going to wake you up 3 o'clock in the morning. While you're in the middle of a dead sleep, you're going to roll over in the bed going, rut-row.
Yep. Now, that's what went on in Newton this weekend. As always, if you're watching us from a small town from here, I have people from different towns that notify me when something happens. If you'd like to join that list, send me an inbox, and we start there, and then we track it down with the police. Did this happen? How did it happen? And this is how we get our stories brought to you the quickest and fastest way that we can. Mm-hmm. So keep in touch with us. We've got more on the way. A whole lot went on in Meridian that we ain't even got to yet that we're going to talk about. And we're going to go back in history here in just a second and tell you a few things that happened today. We'll be right back.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, and they even do work on motorcycles. With the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical. 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian. 601-693-6374.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Debbie. As Odie again being our guest fill-in host this week. Thank you very much for coming. We do appreciate that.
Yes.
No.
And a good morning to Miss Wiley. She said a kind word
Did she?
to go to me. Yes, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Clint, and I'm not sure if this happened today or this weekend, says that a chicken truck overturned on near Union on 492. I don't know if that's this morning or if that was a day or so. If you could let us know when that did happen there. Yeah. J.T. Rigdon, taking care of Newton County. Good morning.
And then now don't forget Meridian and Lauderdale County. So we've got up there with all the money Lauderdale County is saving by not having enough police officers, maybe an extra money for spend on tag readers. Well, that's true if they're saving it, but now that's Meridian that's got the police that they're trying to get more officers, Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. So two different entities there.
But I am hearing I am hearing now that is brought up. Of course, we're a talk show. We can just talk about things, and we don't know all the facts. But I am getting a lot of talk and feedback from folks all around going, where's the money going since they are not going out in salaries, that budget? What's happening to it? I've noticed that the police officers have pretty much worn out uniforms. Maybe their bulletproof vests are out of date. I hear a lot of that. And what about those patrol cars that's been sitting out front for a year with no equipment inside? Just saying.
It'd be nice to have someone that researched and looked at where all this money is spent on both sides. Lauderdale County, City of Meridian, keep up with everything. I believe that keeps all of us honest and keeps us on our toes, which we should be. We're responsible for taxpayers' money. I get so much of your money to spend every year on different line items, and I have to turn around and answer for what I spent that money on, and that keeps me in check, and I appreciate that. And I'm not going to Sunday visitation for anybody. So.
Let me say this, too. There's a lot of times that I know something actually happened. But if charges are not filed against that person, then it might as well never have happened.
That's right.
That is sometimes why we don't talk about things, because it never matured. I may know without a shadow of a doubt someone was hurt. I may know who done it. I may know who stole something. But if charges are not filed, it didn't happen.
It
Just
didn't happen.
food for thought. Always, if you can do the right thing, stand up for it, and let's take America back. We'll
That's right.
start with Lauderdale County, Newton County, Neshoba County. Eric Clark would love to hear from you. Just give him a call. He'll go get them.
Start local, and we can spread it from there.
That's right. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to 1827. That's a long time ago, folks. But on the streets, and I've been there once. My little visit to that town was, and this was 20 years ago when everything was nice and not bad. And Dylan Ray was a kid, and Madison was still in Angie's arms. And we looked, and there's somebody laying on the sidewalk stabbed. And I thought, yep, it's time to go back to Scuba. So we loaded up the truck and left. But it all began on this date in New Orleans with the Mardi Gras first celebration.
You know, that's the first one in New Orleans, but you know where Mardi Gras originated at in the South?
Mobile?
Mobile.
And you don't think of that. They kind of got the credit for it. But you're right, Mobile is the home of it.
But then they have developed this, and it is now, it's
a tourist.
It is a tourist attraction. Is you, an adult, would like to go to a Mardi Gras party, go to New Orleans. If you've got kids, go to Mobile and Foley and all that.
Right.
It's a great time, and you will enjoy yourself. And it's fun for the adults.
Okay, you've gotten a new nickname since we've started this morning.
Another one?
Another one. They said you were reminded of, from Duck Dynasty, Mountain Man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's the one that says, you bought the whole seat, but you just need the edge of it. That's
He's funny.
He is.
1860, it was on this date. Well, he posed for photos, and this would be before that little girl wrote the letter and said that you're mighty ugly. I wish you'd grow a beard.
That's why I got to go to.
It was 1860 that this picture was, that the president had his picture photo. Matthew Brady is the guy that really captured the Civil War. But again, that's before Abe slapped that beard on after that little girl wrote him that letter.
And you know, nobody back then, it was not common. You didn't smile. You just stood there.
A lot of wives still don't.
That's right.
They just hold steady.
A lot of men don't because of the wife.
There you go. We're not calling names or anything like that.
I smile all the time.
Paul Newman, you've heard of him before, haven't you?
Yeah.
I did not really realize until I started looking back of just how beautiful this woman was. She was born on this date, and her name is Joanne Woodward, and I've never heard the name. But she was Paul Newman's wife, and I'm telling you, he picked a looker back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the 40s, 50s, she was just absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, I give it to you there, fella.
Yeah, he done pretty good on there. 1937, another beautiful woman was born, and boy, she got married to everybody and their brother. About 7, 8 times. She even hung out with Michael a little bit.
Yeah.
As we see that Liz Taylor was born on this day. What a gorgeous.
And, you know, she kept her beauty all through.
Yes, it did.
You know, it stuck with her. Now, she might have paid somebody to keep putting it on
Kind of
there.
like a Raquel Welch.
Yeah.
I don't see you bringing up Hillary in that conversation.
Oh, alligator, John Brad, that's my buddy right
What did he say there?
He said, morning, alligator. There's a story behind that. We'll have to show that or tell that story on the evening news.
There we go. We'll have one of those. 1936, $50,000 was a lot. We were in the middle of the Depression in the United States. But there were some that were making a lot of money, and this would be one of the first to do that. Man. You know her name. Little Shirley Temple was making $50,000 a film at 7 years old during the worst time in American history when people couldn't eat.
That's amazing, isn't it?
I don't know what that translates into today's money, but it was a lot.
Either. Wow.
$50,000 per show. Now, I love this show. This is one of my favorites. Somewhere in the 70s, a TV show came on about Cincinnati. It was called WKRP, and Johnny Fever has a birthday today.
Oh, that was some good TV back then.
Yeah, Lonnie was on there. Yeah. Let's just hold that thought for a moment.
Look at poor old Johnny Fever. He's getting a fever, isn't he?
He was. WKRP truly, back in the day, the golden days of radio, it was that fun. There was so much that went on. It's not that way anymore, but at one time, it really was an industry that was absolutely fun. The rating
Where else
wars.
can you throw a turkey out of a helicopter?
I know. And have Les Nessman broadcast live.
I didn't know they couldn't fly.
It's God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
You can't make that. Look that up on YouTube. You'll laugh.
I had almost forgotten about this. I did watch the show occasionally, but she would be one of the first outside of Maud that I would be introduced into of what I would call maybe liberal and tough-o gal. And she, there's a word for it that I can't think of what it was called. But if you remember this old boy, Grant Shaw, he was born on this date. He was known as Miles Silverberg on the show, one of the main characters from, and it really was a big show back in the day.
It was. I never did get into it.
Yeah, it wasn't my kind of taste.
But it was big. I mean, and I'm glad you have to have both sides of the aisle covered, and I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy seeing. Every now and then, I want to see what they're thinking.
That's right.
Whether it's wrong or not.
Yeah.
Who knows? I may be wrong.
1971, this was still number one on this date as Sammy Smith still held the number one slot of Help Me Make It Through the Night. Take the ribbon. Okay, 1989.
I wish I could sing, but I can't.
Yeah, God didn't bless me that way, and I know my limitations in life. And this is really true. A man, to be successful in life, man, woman, or whoever you are, whatever you're identifying at this moment is, you've got to know your limitations to exceed in life. You've got to know this is where I stop and I need somebody to help me.
That's right.
You will go far if you ever realize that. Never think that you're the greatest in everything. Realize you need help.
Some people can't sing.
That's right.
Some people can.
That I can't.
Some people were meant to operate on other people, and some people were meant to dig a ditch. That's just the way life is.
I don't want anybody wanting to identify as a heart doctor today. Yeah, I'd rather like hang there with Dr. Gear. He knows what he's doing.
Do you know what you call the student that barely passed med school?
What's that?
Doctor.
It's same.
I'm just telling you, the one that squeaked by is still doctor.
There you go. Y'all think on that.
Give you something to think about.
1989, what was the number one song? It was "Oh Tight Pants Yoakum" with the number one song in America with "I Sang Dixie As He Died." Boy, that was a good song. I'm a Dwight Yoakam fan, over the top. From the coal mines of Kentucky, Pikeville, Kentucky, he came to America, went out to California, and sang with the punk rock group Country Music. He pulled it off.
And pulled it off.
Really, really good. It would be 1991 today that this man would get out of jail. He sat there for 6 years after that big car chase and all of that with the police, says James Brown.
You know who I am?
That's what he told them. As the cuffs were being put on. They did let him out, though. 1991, he did have, it was a huge car chase, y'all. On this date, it went number one, if I'm not mistaken. And it was certified as the longest number one. What am I talking about? Dolly's song, I'll Always Love You, as Whitney Houston stayed at the number one chart for the longest of any.
Wow. And she's a beautiful woman.
She was. What a tragedy, what happened in her life.
Yeah.
Awful, awful. 2003, you've heard stories about this. Paul Harvey's done stories on him. What a good guy he was. He wore sweaters. And he talked like he worked on those 88.1 channels on your radio. He never got too excited and kept calm. Who am I talking
across
about?
the board, but you didn't want to meet him on a dark alley because he'd be the one to walk out. He would whoop you from one end to the other.
He was a tough guy.
He was a bad man.
Fred Rogers.
Wow.
In the neighborhood there. What a guy he was. Also, we lost, and I didn't know this guy's name at all, Simon, how do you pronounce that last name? Nimoy.
Yeah.
If you were a Star Trek fan, you know all about this guy. He passed away in 2015. Old Big Ears himself.
I tell you, come to a point.
You did. And that's a little look on history today of what happened on it. We'll be right back. We got more to talk about what went on in the community, all happening here this morning. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been in business for over 10 years, and they have over 30 vendors inside, with a rotating inventory to fit that something special that you're looking for. The inventory constantly is updating, and there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located at 335 West Main Street, where you'll bump into a friend, and, well, we'll treat you like family. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie filling in for Debbie this week. As Roy tells us, he was a Dwight Yoakam fan, and Anita Charles says that her husband was from Pikeville, Kentucky, the same area that lovely Patty Loveless came from also.
Kind of like Meridian, there's something in the water.
It is there. Millie tells us that she sings in the shower. We want to hear. Is it good?
Record that and send us an audio clip, and we'll play that tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, Missy tells us that Kuwait was liberated in 91 on this date by President Bush. I had forgotten that. I missed that.
Too.
Good line there. Always send us what you know. Maybe we miss a few things there. As we scan down through here. Dogs.
Hatfields and McCoy from Pikeville. I didn't know that. I didn't put that in 2 and 2 together.
Let's see here. Dogs cover their ears when I sing, Terry says. That's kind of funny there. Yep. Do you have any info on Kelly Pickler's husband? All that I'm really aware of at this point is he took his own life, is what we're being told, in a room in their home. How sad that is.
Yeah, very
let's
sad.
see here what else we have shaking up here. Lori, how are you doing there? Let's see. How's Debbie doing? She is getting better. We can start to hear. She was urged by doctors not to talk, even though her voice may start coming back a little bit to where it wouldn't damage it, or it could lead into something worse. So we're going to keep her like a sock in her mouth. Mike really hates that this is coming to an end.
Well, I'll be back every now and again. But, all good things gotta slow down or stop for a little bit.
There you go.
I've had a blast, and I appreciate y'all welcoming me in.
We ain't done with you yet, so don't you got to show up tomorrow. I just want to tell you. I'll call you.
You wake me up, you get Amy on me.
Did we have any gunshots this weekend? Well, absolutely, and I think we ought to talk about a few of those. Let's head out to Mosby Road. Let's start there first, Odie, as we take a look. We start there with gunshots on Mosby Road. No one hurt, no one injured, but, well, everybody didn't know about that one. We had some more as we come across, and we'll talk about Neshoba County, what happened there in a little bit. 5th Street, had gunshots there also. No one hurt, no one injured. That was a drive-by on 41st Avenue. Couldn't get it out there. But again, no one was hurt on that. As we look at our next scene of what went on over the weekend, we had more gunshots on 5th Street. Also, we had 54th Avenue coming in. We can't have the neighbors not shooting over here, so come on over.
And they're all connected in one way or another. With this gang and that gang, they're all connected. And that's the sad truth of it. We've got a gang problem, and they try and hash out problems on each other, and sometimes innocent bystanders get caught in the middle of it.
Well, if you're over on 39th Avenue and you have a little argument, what do? Well, grab the first thing you can. Go grab a hammer. Just go take it out on the windows of the car. Knock them all out. Somebody's going to call the popo.
Yeah.
That did happen. Now, let's talk about Neshoba County over the weekend. As I spoke with Eric Clark, it was hot off the press when it happened, and he told me all about it as they made a huge drug bust. $36,000, over $36,000 in cash. They confiscated a Ford Ford 450. Big old truck there.
Yeah.
Lots of drugs, and 2 people are in jail now as we pull up the leading story out of Neshoba County over the weekend, as 2 will go to jail now. Pretty serious business there.
And that's a lot of stuff that they got off the streets that we won't have to worry about going into the hands of our kids.
Let's try to get that picture. There it is.
There it is.
Now, I don't know much about drugs. I really don't. I think that may be marijuana.
That's marijuana back there.
Is this meth?
Well, I don't know.
Or is that something else?
Meth, ice. I'd say that's meth. What all did they have? Marijuana's in the back. I guess that'd be it on the.
I don't know a lot about drugs. But look at all of this cash here. That's a lot of sales.
I know about that.
That's sales is what you call that there.
Yeah.
They've put it with zero tolerance up there. If they find you, you will go to jail in Neshoba County, and making the streets safer every day that they can to take this stuff off to where your family members are not affected by it.
That's right. That's some bad stuff, and we need to get it off the streets.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about this, visit our webpage at sammedia.network. You can look at the arrest reports. All you do is click here, and it pops up. The pictures, you can read more about it there as the report came out in Neshoba County. Glad we've got 2 off the streets, and no one else will be affected by what's going on with that. And we do hope it goes a step higher, and whoever they got their product from are brought to justice as well. Boy, we got more coming up as we get near and near the top of the hour. Already 7:50, if y'all can believe it.
Like we said, fastest show on news.
It is.
Wow.
It is. Fastest 1 hour you'll ever experience today. We'll be right back. If you're an outdoorsman, Garrett's Outfitters is the place to head to in Meridian. They have a complete line of gloves to keep your hands warm in these cold mornings, toboggans to block that wind, and America's favorite Carhartt, from the rugged overalls to slacks and shirts. Work boots and mud boots as well. Browse around the gun accessories and a complete line of just about any gun. Protect your investment, your guns, with one of the many Browning gun safes they have to choose from. For the outdoorsman in your family, it's Garrett's, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 invites you by to take a look at a brand new product they've got. Odes, ATVs, and UTVs. These side-by-sides range from 800 to 1,000 cc's, and they come with heat or air. Whether you're doing work around the farm or hunting, they've got the unit just for you to keep warm or cool, depending upon that Mississippi and Alabama day. Swing by for a test drive today at Freeman Tractor. See coleslaw, buttermilk, and don't forget you can meet their newest employee, Eggplant. That's Freeman Tractor, Highway 494.
Have you been in an auto accident? Call Will Parker. Get the help you deserve. Call Will Parker. Don't settle for less and know your rights. Call Will Parker. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Call your Meridian lawyer, Will Parker.
Odie, you may have friends in all types of places. I keep seeing comments and people telling you good morning there, and we appreciate y'all. If you're watching from television and don't know what we're talking about, you can join us each morning online on Facebook or on YouTube. Scotty Ray Report, look it up, pretty easy to find, and you can comment with us as we're live.
And share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And push it. I met a lot of people this weekend downtown.
That was fun.
That was neat. That was fun. Really enjoyed it.
We had a golf cart fire out of Dalewood this weekend. There's nothing like paying $5,000-$6,000 for a great golf cart, and whoop, it catches on fire.
And no golf course.
That's right. Volunteer fire department responded to the scene, got it out pretty quickly there. And now that you brought that up, I want to brag on Meridian a little bit. They were out and about this weekend giving smoke detectors to residents. I went out and joined it, and it was a lot of fun here as we went out. Nick Lisi came out too, the volunteer fire department, as we went here, and they were such nice to let us come in their homes. They put these in. Now let me show you what goes in here of older. Let me get one of these pictures here. The chief was there. They even tracked him down. I want you to look at this as this battery that's in his hand. This is what can happen if you don't change those.
That's right.
Over a period of time.
And these new ones come with a 10-year battery, so you don't have to change it every time. But now bringing that up, if you have an older style, we change batteries when we change time, and we're fixing to change time.
That's right, March 12th.
So it's time to change the batteries in your smoke detector if you've got one that takes the batteries.
This is what happens to if you're police chief in Marion, Mississippi, and you don't come to this young lady's house. She comes over and goes, "What are you doing, chief?" She come got him and said, "You come over here and put one in my house."
Come right on over here.
It was funny.
I tell you what, he'll do it. Now,
he will.
I love Chief to death.
Now, if you saw the commotion in downtown, not as big a crowd as we had last year. I think it had to do with the changing of the dates because of rain. But this is a quick look of what went on in the history walk in downtown Meridian. These young ladies gave their time there. We had an old boy there dressed up as a Union soldier. And as we looked through this, they were really good at what they done. Each one had a story to tell about the history of Meridian.
And it was warm.
Yeah. Nice weather there. And as we'll come across here, boy, he was hard at it.
He was. He's always hard at it, isn't he?
Yeah, I appreciate him doing that. And as we go past this was the history of Weidman's. As we go down the street, Donna P. Ford yakking on a street corner. Imagine that.
Man. Never would have thunk it.
As we come around the corner, we find Dr. Alan Brown telling his story of the railroad men that influenced Meridian. As we keep going, there were so many. I even ran into this, and I said, Debbie, what's going on here? Let me take a look at this. What's in that backpack? That was actually a frog. I thought it was something else, but I was trying to get closer to catch up with it to find out what that was.
Look at there.
A little fin there, and we find Ward.
He still got that squirrel on his head.
A great storyteller. In this document right here, what I found so interesting.
Yes, that is awesome.
This was where the bid was $100,000 for the courthouse.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Now, his daddy, Ward Calhoun, I want to say his daddy was Ward Calhoun Jr.
And then he's the second.
And he's the third.
Oh, the third. Okay. Yeah.
And you talking about somebody that had the history and really put it together. Go to the Lauderdale County Courthouse Annex, go to the second floor, and go in the archives and be careful because you'll spend some extra time in there looking around, and you'll see some things that's really intriguing.
Clark County, look at these pictures here. They had a big car show this weekend.
Yeah.
Boy, gorgeous cars as we look at this.
I like that truck.
That's pretty, isn't it?
Man, that's nice.
Mustangs, and the list goes on. They were just gorgeous cars. This was the first annual out at Clarko. I hope you had a chance to go visit and take a look at all of these. Look at that.
Man, that is nice. Look at that old Ford.
Ford was pretty popular there. Boy, that's a beautiful truck,
yes,
too.
It is.
But that's an overview of what went on over the weekend. We do appreciate everybody sending in the pictures of what went on. I did not get a chance to go to the Temple Theater. I know that there was a lot going on there as well. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that we're already coming up at the end of our time?
Man, just if the rest of the day would go by this quick, we wouldn't get anything done.
We've enjoyed it. We're going to tell you more about the weather. Follow us. We'll update you as things progress toward Thursday and the level 3 bad weather that is on the way. Odie, you've got a busy day ahead of you.
We're going to get everything together, and I appreciate you allowing me to come into y'all's homes for this week, and look forward to it.
We'll be back. Again, thanks for dropping by, and we'll be here behind the scenes all day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: